Both of my cats are being lazy today. If you see through those shades, you'll see there's a lot of sunlight out there. So I'm looking forward to harnessing. However, there's been some change of plans, major change of plans. If you remember, what I was saying before is that I was actually going to run 10 gauge wire underneath from this point here to my walk-in pantry. Excuse the mess, we are still sorting stuff. All the way to my walk-in pantry here. That was the actual plan for setting everything up, and I was going to put my box and everything else right there on that wall. Unfortunately, I've got a problem. I've actually been working with Northern Arizona Wind and Sun to price out not only the proper wire, but also the combiner box and everything else I'm going to need to properly hook up this entire setup with NEC compliance. NEC compliance basically says that I have followed all the rules, properly grounded, etc., 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 so that the system isn't a danger to myself, to my property, to anyone else. It's the National Electric Code. So if I have a meter reader come by, or anyone else for that matter, and they see the panels and they do an inquiry on it, they can at least see, even if they ask me, they can see that it's NEC compliant, and they can't say, well, we just don't like it up there. As long as it's compliant, then I'm okay. So with that in mind, pricing everything out, in order for me to hook up my panels, this is just for the equipment to hook up the panels. It doesn't matter how many panels I actually have. To hook up my panels from that shed to the pantry, the walk-in pantry, it's approximately 65 feet. It's going to cost right around $1,500 in wire, combiner box, the burial equipment, and so on. It's really expensive, and that's because I need to run 2 strands of 2 gauge wire from that shed. It's going to be direct burial wire to my box, and that's really expensive wire, unfortunately. Add in the combiner box that'll take up to 12 panels, and the lightning arrestor and necessary hookups, and you start to add in a lot of cost. So I am seriously rethinking this, and I'm going to show you what I'm rethinking right now. If you follow me all the way into the bedroom, this is the master bedroom. This is all the way as far corner back as I can go. This corner right here. So if you look on the other side of the wall, you have my shed, okay? It is approximately 40 feet from where I'm going to have the box to actually hook up and have the box right here on the wall, or right here on the wall is probably where I'm going to put it. Right here on the wall is approximately 40 feet. That'll set the box up, at about 4 feet high, and then I can have the batteries and so on down there in the corner. So 40 feet will allow me to do 2 things. I can run, obviously, less wire, as well as I can run thinner wire. So the thinner wire is obviously going to be cheaper. It's also going to be easier for me to install, because then all I have to do is take one of the panels that are on the outside there, just drill a hole straight up in the corner, and then I can run my wires up. It's actually going to be considerably easier. Okay? The downside to this is that I'm going to have to bring the bicycle generator in this room, or what I actually thought about doing, since I already have the 10 gauge wire. I actually already bought the 10 gauge wire, you can see there, excuse the mess. I actually thought about putting the bicycle generator back there in that corner, and when I go to use the generator, I just pull this out, hook up the bike, do my generating, and then set it back up to where, obviously is taking up the least amount of space, put it back behind that chair. No one really noticed it's there. We're good to go. I have the wire for it, so that's what I'm considering that I'm actually going to do. In fact, they already drilled a hole for my cable coming in, so I'm pretty sure that's what I'm actually going to be doing. again, I got a lot to think about simply because I don't want this to turn into a $2,000 experiment and not recuperate my costs for years. I'm trying to go as cheap as possible but safe. And I'm going to be expanding this system. I want to put a 1 kilowatt array on that shed. I want to build another shed so that I can add another kilowatt. So over time I'm going to be expanding it, but the problem is making it practical. It's convenient for me to put it in the walk-in pantry, but at the same time it's also a problem because of all the wire that I'm going to need. And this isn't some $20,000 system I have on the roof that's got all the bells and whistles that I'm going to be okay with. So this is something I'm putting together myself. So anyway, that's where I'm at right now. That's my idea. So what do you guys think? This is pretty much the way that I think I'm going to go, but I've still got some time to think about it. So yeah, take care, guys.